Good morning, everybody. Mel Soul here at the Mel Soul Golf School, located at Pawleys Plantation Golf and Country Club in Pawleys Island, South Carolina. And today we're going to talk about something that amateurs don't seem to either realize or do that often, and that is a club fitting. And I recently had a student who was a previous student of the school, had been to the school a couple of times, and he had a new set of clubs. And I said, I hope that you went through a club fitting before you bought your new clubs. And he said, no, I just bought them off the rack. I can't afford a club fitting. Folks, I don't know what other people do, but here at the golf school, if you buy the clubs from me, the club fitting is free. Now, what we do to stop people from coming and getting a club fitting and then going to a discount store and buying the clubs is I charge $80 for a club fitting, but if you buy the clubs from me, the $80 is waived. And I can promise you that I only do Mizuno, and the price that I sell the Mizuno clubs here and the price that the store sells there is exactly the same, because Mizuno controls the price of their clubs and does not allow even discount stores to discount Mizuno golf clubs. So you sign, when you get a Mizuno fitting cart, which this is, you sign a contract that says I will not discount my clubs actively. In other words, I won't run an ad in a newspaper. Now, if I have a student here on the tee and I do a club fitting and I want to give him a discount because he's a good customer, that's fine. I can do that, and I've done that many times. But I can't advertise the fact in a local newspaper or magazine. So this is a Mizuno fitting cart, and as you can see, there are a whole lot of shafts. So these on either side here are iron shafts. These are a 1/2 inch to 1 inch longer. These are all standard length. Then I have fairway wood and driver shafts. I have some lady shafts. And so then if you have a look, if I turn this cart around and we have a look from this side, now I have all the heads. So all the iron heads and fairway wood heads, and I have some of the latest drivers inside. There's some gaps missing here because we're right at the end of the Mizuno season, and within 1 month all the new models are going to come out, and so they've intentionally removed some of the models that they are not going to be having the next coming year in their line. Those models have been discontinued, and so there's some spaces at the moment, but 1 month from now, when the new Mizuno clubs come out, this fitting cart will be full. I'll have all the heads and iron. So how do we do a fitting? The heart and soul of the fitting cart is this thing here. There's no other fitter that has this. This is the magic. This is called a shaft optimizer, and it's got this little computer in here. It's got a graphite shaft, and there are strain gauges that run inside this shaft and measure. So when I put a head, and I have a fitting head here, so when I put the fitting head on and I tighten it up, now I get my student to swing this club, and what it's doing while he's swinging, first of all, I measure him. So I have in my fitting cart here, I have a ruler, and I measure knuckles from the ground. I have a chart that I use that takes into account A, the student's height, B, his knuckles from the ground, and that is going to determine the length of the club. So then there's lines on here. So if the student is going to have a club that's a 1/2 inch longer than standard, I'm going to say to him, all right, grip it up here, because this line here indicates a 1/2 inch longer. So he's going to grip it all the way up to the top like that. Standard length would be gripping it on the red line, which is down there. Now they're going to hit some shots, and I am going to turn the shaft optimizer on and it's going to be, I'll have my iPhone or my iPad nearby, Bluetooth it in. When the student goes ahead and hits the shot, it's going to measure, and there are 5 measurements it's going to measure. When you take it away, if you're a person that goes slow as opposed to a person that goes fast, it's going to measure the amount of load put on the shaft going back. When you get to the top of the backswing, what we call the transition point, changing direction, different loads, the people with different speeds are going to put different loads on the shaft. That's going to be measured. Coming down, the bend in the shaft coming down, which is the speed of the downswing. Impact, how does the shaft react at impact? And then finally, club head speed. Those are the 5 measurements that this makes and puts onto my iPad. When we go inside, I plug those measurements into a computer program on my computer that is supplied by Mizuno, and it's going to tell me of all of these shafts here. Now I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24 shafts on this side and another 24 shafts on that side for the irons. So I'm going to choose, so that those measurements will give me your shaft profile, and your shaft profile is determined based on your golf swing. When I plug it into the computer, it's going to tell me which shaft out of these 24 shafts here, which shaft matches your shaft profile the closest. And it's going to say, all right, it's a KBS, this is an X shaft, extra stiff, somebody who's a very good player. So if the computer tells me this is the shaft, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this shaft. I'm now going to let the student choose which head he likes. So most of them like to go for this JPX Tour. In fact, Brooks Koepka uses this shaft. So I'll put the shaft on, and now I'll let students hit shots. So they're now hitting a shot with a club that has the same shaft and the same head as what they're going to buy. If they don't like that particular head, I'll pull out something else and I'll get them to try something else. I'll let them try 3 or 4 different heads. We know this is the shaft, so we don't have to have 20 different variations. We've got to have maybe 2 or 3 variations of different heads. And once the student puts that head down and says, you know, I like the look of that, and when I hit it I like the feel of that, now I know this is the club, it's the right length, it's the right flex. I'm going to measure your hands in terms of grip thickness. The club that you get, and I like Mizuno's slogan, is in your DNA. This club is perfect for your particular golf swing. Over the years, when I fitted myself, as I have evolved and got older and my club head speed has got a little bit less, I've changed from a stiff steel to a regular graphite. It helps me, helps my ball striking. I still am able to keep up some club head speed. I still hit the ball now as far as I did 20 years ago because of technology. Not because I'm swinging the club faster, but because of technology. It allows me, I have the shaft that matches my DNA. So if you're in the market for a new set of clubs, don't go and buy a set of clubs off the rack, because like a suit, it's going to be wrong the moment you buy it. So if you don't live in this area, find a club fitter in your area. If you prefer Ping or TaylorMade or Callaway or whatever it is, find a club fitter that has those. I only do Mizuno because I believe that Mizuno makes the best irons on the market, and this latest driver that's come out is the best driver they've ever done. So I'm very happy with my Mizuno clubs right now. They can only get better. If you're interested in a Mizuno, I am a Mizuno certified club fitter. So if you want to come and have a really good club fitting, book a golf school, and one of the afternoons we'll set aside and we'll go through a club fitting for you, and we'll make sure that your clubs are not costing you shots on the golf course. Thanks for watching.